All right, we're live.
Yay!
Awesome.
Yay.
Oh, I think
And-
Derek froze for me now.
Did I?
We're gonna play this fun game.
Yeah, Derek
Yeah.
is frozen.
And
Okay.
and we have a quorum today again.
We do. Not to be confused with a Quora.
Yes.
Yes.
Am
I still frozen?
Your video, yes,
Yeah.
it's delightfully black, Derek. When
Excellent.
when it
Okay.
switches to you, when
It's not frozen for me.
I'll refresh and see what happens.
I think
yeah.
Google is having problems today. I don't think it's us.
Well, maybe it's because they have intrusive sponsors
Okay.
on their show. Oh, never mind.
All right, Derek's back now.
Okay.
So who wants to rant first? I think Chuck wants to rant.
Oh, I was just telling you guys before we started recording that, yeah, I had somebody cancel a MyJS story because they didn't like the sponsorships in the podcast, that they're too intrusive and there are too many of them. So yeah, it's too painful for those poor people listening to the shows to listen to 2 or 3 minutes of ads in the middle of an hour or so long discussion about something that will actually help them in their job and make them more money.
I like how people always want everything to be free, except for they want to get paid their paycheck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and God forbid anyone think about, oh, it might actually cost money, I don't know, get them edited or to host the media or to run the website. And, yeah, I should just do it all for free because it doesn't take any time to line up guests and do research before the shows and wrangle all of the other co-hosts and schedule extra episodes because NPM and Node just released new versions, major versions in the same week. And anything like that, just to get people timely stuff. Yeah, that doesn't take any time, so I shouldn't be paid for any of that.
Exactly. I mean, what's the problem?
It's funny. I got into this discussion. I probably shouldn't even but I did via email from this guy that asked for a refund on one of the courses. And I looked him up and he had refunded another course. And when someone does that, I'm like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah, you're banned.
Right? I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving you a refund and fuck off. Because it was obvious pattern, right? Actually, this was like his third refund attempt, and so we'd given him the first 2 or something. And then he's like, oh, he's like, your course was really good, but it wasn't quite as beneficial as I wanted it to be. And and then he goes on and after my fuck off, he had replied back and he's like, I love your soft skills book. I got so much value from it. I get so much value from your blog posts and your YouTube videos. They're awesome. I watch them every day. So I don't want you to think I'm a hater. So I reply back and I'm like, look, dude, okay, cool. That's awesome. But here's the thing, if you buy a $70 course from me or something and you getting a ton of fucking free value from all the other stuff, just be like, hey, even if you didn't get value out of that, just be like, hey, let's support I'm just going to keep the course, even though, don't ask for a refund, just be like, hey, I'm supporting the YouTube channel then in this case, right? It's like, I mean,
It's a tip jar.
Yeah, it's not that you have to do that. I mean, if you pay for something, you deserve to get. But it's not like we blatantly ripped the guy off. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a mentality. It's like, do you want to go and tarnish your reputation with someone down the future? Now I'm I see this guy's name. I'm like, oh, this is the cheapskate guy that just doesn't. But it's just funny because they're just that mentality that people have. It's like, I mean, there's been plenty of times where I'm just like, oh, fuck it. I'm going to support this person because I'm getting a lot of other free good stuff from them. I've bought courses sometimes and I've been like, it's not quite what I wanted, but I didn't ask for a refund if I was getting a ton of free value from the other stuff. But it's just weird, the mentality that people have, that it's like, they either expect everything for free or, yeah.
My bar for refunds where I'll ask for a refund is pretty, basically if I can find a place where I got a piece of significant value out of it, even if it's just a little sliver, then I'm not going to ask for a refund. The one I did ask for a refund. I refunded a Kindle book one time, and it was, I think I mentioned this on the show, but it was there's this book, Get Clients Now,
Uh-huh.
and somebody published a Kindle book that was Get More Clients Now, or like it was like a blatant
Oh.
rip off of the title,
Oh,
and they were
gosh.
charging $30 for basically like 10 blog posts. It was just absolutely the worst quality of anything I've ever experienced. So yeah, I did get a refund on it.
Yeah. See, that's an obvious scam, though. That's like you're
Right.
purposely you're using someone else's name, like to know that people
Mhm.
search for that, and then like assuming that the. But yeah,
You know, John, if you go to a movie and you thought the movie was good but not great, you should ask for a refund.
right.
And if you go to the grocery store and you buy a box of cookies and you think the cookies are good but not great, you should go spit the cookies back out on the counter at the grocery store and tell them you want your money back.
Right.
Because you know what? If it's not just stellar amazing, then it's not worth anything.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I love it.
Or better yet, well, I probably shouldn't go there, but better yet, if you buy the bag of cookies and you eat the whole thing in one day, and then the next day it makes you sick, you should go vomit on the counter of the grocery store and say, I want my money back because I ate too many cookies and it made me sick.
And if you hire a prostitute, maybe not.
Oh, well, I'm going to jump in here and actually talk for a minute about some of the stuff that I've been doing this week, because I think last week I talked about, you know, my sort of situation with money and everything else, and you guys gave me a ton of great advice, and I actually took it. So I reached out to all of my sponsors, and I basically said, hey, look, if you sign up for, you know, basically a renewal, and you pay me by June 9th, which is next Friday, a week from today, then, you know, you'll get the My Whatever Story episodes as part of the deal. So they basically get a 2-for-1 deal. And I just explained to them that it's a new show, it's a spinoff, and I kind of want to prime the pump a little bit, so to speak, about, you know, as far as getting sponsors in. So it's a sponsored show, and hey, you know, I have sponsors on the show, they're getting results, and then I can, you know, open it up to more people.
Yeah.
And so that's been working out pretty well. I also did a pre-sale on my course. So if people want to get in, they basically get it for 50% just this week. But I'm only limiting it to 20 people. So after 20 people, then you're not in. You can't get in.
You're not cool.
But yeah, anyway, I've done all that. And now I'm working on getting the Ruby Dev Summit. So I had Ruby Remote Conf scheduled this month, and I had already postponed it because I couldn't find the speakers I wanted. So I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to do that in October, but that also opens other opportunities up. So I can go talk to some companies and see if they're willing to sponsor a summit on Ruby. And then I can also open things up and say, hey, look, just sign up for the free ticket. And then so that'll start getting people on my mailing list. And then if they want the all access passes, they can buy those now. And they'll get the videos when they're available.
Nice. Chuck, you went the opposite direction from being a pig farmer this week.
I know. But yeah, it's funny because you just get so down, right? It's like, oh man, everything's so bad. And then, you know, I talked to you guys, I talked to, you know, some other folks that I kind of go to for advice. I've been talking to Jamie, and yeah, I realized I had all these options and that it wasn't over. And that's kind of what I needed to hear.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good turnaround.
Yep. And then I got an email from somebody saying that I was a jerkhole for putting sponsorship spots in my podcasts.
Terrible.
Well, we kind
Don't
of
you know
we
that
kind of all knew
information
that
wants
already.
to be free?
Yep.
Oh man.
So we can.
Speaking of,
Oh, go ahead.
Speaking of free information, some jerk started giving away one of my courses as a bonus for this stuff.
How's that working out for you?
Yeah, actually, I am. I've had 14 people grab the
Nice.
bonus off of your sales so far.
Very
There's
nice.
6 or 7 yesterday, and another bunch of them today so far. So I'm I kind of need to get a sales sequence built up for those people so that I can maybe make a few dollars off of them. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to put something together fairly quickly, and see if anybody is. I can do some basic checking to see if anybody's ending up with a subscription to Watch Me Club, but I kind of doubt that's going to happen without a real sales sequence in there.
Yeah, we're sending probably about 600 or 700 people your way. So,
yep.
We decided to try something to continue the JavaScript saga. And I probably shouldn't say this on air, but you know what? I don't think that the kind of people that watch this show are the kind of cheaper people that would like demand refunds, partial refunds, because we lowered the price on something. Could be wrong. There are probably a few, but
if you're a cheap bastard watching this show right now, you don't get a refund.
No, I will. We'll give you, if you want, but but just remember what I said at the beginning of the show. So, but what we did was we said, I was listening to this really good book called, that I can't remember. It's so good I can't remember. It's called like, what is
so
it?
good they can't remember you.
Computer.
By Cal, what's his name?
Yeah.
Yes.
Algorithms to Live By. And they're talking about it's pretty interesting, but applying computer science to life, a lot of the algorithms and stuff, and there was a section on A/B testing and just like some phenomenal results and just price. And I was thinking, I was like, we should try this JavaScript course, because we had lowered the price and tried, when we relaunched this, we had already lowered it to I think $79 or so.
Yeah, we originally launched it, so the list. We did the sale price of $199, and then when we did we did like a reboot this week where we wanted to relaunch it with, now that we had Tony's content, but we couldn't. I didn't feel like we could make the $299 work anymore, because I lost a bunch of bonuses when we lost our other author, because he was offering a bunch of his time and stuff, and coaching and that stuff that made the package seem a lot more valuable, until we realized he was a scammer.
Even though now it's actually a lot more valuable.
Significantly more.
So I was like, okay, well, let's try it at $199, or sorry, at $99.
Yeah.
And then we marked it down to $79 for the relaunch as a sale.
Mm-hmm.
And we did pretty good on that, right? I mean, it wasn't bad considering one.
Yeah. So with the first iteration, we sold about 100 copies at the $199, and then the second iteration we sold, with the reboot at $79, we sold about 100 copies.
Right.
So.
And there was a little bit of a snafu with the ordering of the emails, so we ended up being sort of one email short, really. So we probably would have done a little bit better. But yeah, so I was thinking.
I actually don't think we would have. So what happened was I accidentally I screwed up and I sent out. This was how many times? Okay,
it is literally impossible for a launch to go well, to go perfect.
The simplest sale ever, right? Is like, what is it? It's 3 emails that you send. You send 1 email on day 1 and 2 emails on day 2, right? And I already had all the like links set up and everything, and all I had to do was send the freaking emails. Well, I accidentally scheduled email 2 to go out at 10:30 on Tuesday, and I scheduled email 1 to go out at 11 a.m. on Tuesday. So email 2 went out, and then John's like, hey, I just got the second email. And I was like, wait, no. And then I look over in Drip, and email 2 the first email is now in the middle of sending. So there's like no calling it back.
No.
Yeah.
And so 2 emails went out about the sale out of order within 30 minutes. Yeah, I felt pretty stupid. But actually, John, I think I'm going to no longer do those FAQ. I think those FAQ emails are pretty ineffective, and I'm gonna look at the other emails, because I've got those in a sequence, so I can validate this. But my sense is that they don't really work, and that we got the sales we got from that email were not really much different than what we would have gotten if it had gone out the next day. So
I think those FAQ type emails, I agree with you. I think FAQ type of emails will work better on a $2,000 product, right?
Mhm.
Where
Yeah.
you actually have some really large obstacles to overcome, and you really have to justify
Right.
the price, and people have real objections that, I mean, for a $79 thing, how strong can your objections be, right? It's
Right.
like, but if you got to convince someone, hey, you're going to have to sell your car and use it and ride around on a bicycle so you can buy this course. You gotta address that a little bit.
I think what I'm going to do instead is send out emails highlighting the bonuses.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like maybe I'll
That's
replace the second email in that sequence with one highlighting Derek's course.
It'd be nice to A/B test some of these things if we could on the evergreen parts of it. But yeah. So what ended up happening was, so I'm at the gym. I'm listening to Sam. Like, I wonder what would happen, right? Because I'm thinking maybe there's a tipping point where all of a sudden you find the right price and you get just a huge volume of people, right? Where it sort of breaks the 80-20 curve, because that. There are definitely those places with certain things, right? So I said, well, what if we just try? What if we send one more email out and say, hey, look, some people complained about the price. We slash it in half instead, and because we want more people to be able to get this course. And here you go. We're testing something out. We're just testing to see if we cut the price down, how will it do? And there was also an angry tweet from a drunk bastard.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was literally the Twitter name was Old Drunk Bastard.
The guy's name was @OldDrunkBastard or Drunk Old Bastard.
Drunk Old Bastard.
And he called us out, and and he's like, "Oh, this exact course is on Udemy," and he even at Udemy at Tony, just like total trying to stir up hornet's nest at us, called us scammer, because our course was on sale for $79, where Udemy had their $179 course on sale for $10, which they do a lot, right? They put these courses on sale, so. That it kind of ticked me off, but I didn't respond. Like I don't want to I don't want to throw a rock at David, right? It's stupid to do that. Let him do his thing over there, right? That's the worst thing I could do is give someone like that a platform. So, but then Josh and I are talking the next day, and I'm talking about doing the slashing the price down to 35. Let's just send one more email. We'll make a lot of money for sure. And then we're talking about that, and we're like, somehow we came up with that idea. What if we undercut let's match the Udemy price?
I was like, what we need to do? Like, if we're gonna do this, let's. Here's what we're gonna do.
Mhm.
We're gonna take that tweet and we're gonna stick that tweet at the top of an email, and the subject line is gonna be this drunk old bastard called me out, and we're going to talk about how the course we're selling is better because it's got more bonuses in it, so it's a better value. And then we're going to actually undercut Udemy, and so instead of $10, it'll be $9.
Right. And
so not 7-minute abs, but 6-minute abs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
6-minute abs.
So that was the plan, and it's mostly just like an experiment, just a test to see, right? I mean,
a giant middle finger to the drunk old bastard.
Yeah, a giant middle finger. And I think it bought us a lot of credibility too, right? Because it's like, I mean, we're not going to fire sale all of our courses. We're not going to become a Udemy, but at the same time, it's like, hey, I think we did a good for our list, right? I think it's like, okay, there's a lot of people from India that bought this course, a lot of people that maybe couldn't afford some of our stuff. So we gave them a really, really good deal on a really, really good course. So I feel like it was just a goodwill move, after everything that just made sense, and it gave us a lot of information, and we did okay. I think we're going to pull maybe like $7 or $8 grand. We paid Tony his commission off of that, but yeah, it's not bad for like a 30-minute email, and we learned something. I think we're going to sell like 600-700 copies at the $9 price point.
Yeah, basically it'll be almost exactly 1% of our list. Well, it looks like it's going to convert at that price. So yeah, it's interesting. So I'm still processing all this. I don't really know like what the takeaway is for us as far as what we're going to do. But I think Like I feel like the pricing of the course between I think $2.99 and $99 are probably too high. $9 was clearly too low
Yeah.
because we made more money. We made more money at both of the other price levels than we did at this price. Now, if we'd gone through all the hoopla of the original launch and then launched it at $9 like we did, I think we might have made we probably would have converted like 3 to 5% of the list, I think. So it would have been close, I think, to what we ended up getting at $2.99 because we only made 100
You may
sales.
have converted higher initially, but your lifetime value for your customers would probably end up being lower on those sales. That's what I found with Watch Me Code at that $9 price point, because I was getting a lot of drive-by purchases. People are just like, oh, $9, yeah, of course I'm gonna get that and check it out. And my average lifetime value for my customers was literally $12. Which is terrible.
Yeah,
It's barely anything more than $9. And when I bumped my prices up to $19 a month or $197 a year, I get a lot less subscribers. I have far fewer subscribers every month, but my revenue continues to grow month over month.
It's different metrics. It depends. Like you're doing more of the SaaS model, so that like what we would be looking at is, did we bump the lifetime value of an email subscriber, not a purchaser?
Yeah, I've actually, John, I didn't talk to you about this yet, but one of the things I started doing this morning is I'm putting together a spreadsheet of metrics that I'm going to track month to month. And I think for us, the most valuable metric is something along the lines of monthly revenue per email subscriber. So I'm just going to, it's going to be kind of crude because it won't include, like, some of this will be coming off of YouTube and stuff too, but I'm just going to basically take our monthly revenue and divide it by the number of email subscribers that we have. And that's going to be like one of the metrics that I really look at. And so right now it's like 50 cents a month per email subscriber. So I'm going to look for ways to keep pushing that higher.
Yeah. But
yeah, that's since all of our stuff is mostly, it's like one-time sales, and we have a lot of different revenue streams. It's a little bit harder to compute like a good customer lifetime value. Our customer lifetime value actually went down from doing this sale. If you just look at the people that have bought from us, we went from $110 down to 104.
But we've got more customers. So, that's like,
but we've got more customers. Yep.
One option I think that we missed on this too, though, was, I was just telling Josh this morning, is we had some one-time offers, obviously, when you buy anything from us, but we should have maybe slashed the price on those for this if we cut the price, because then it wouldn't be like, hey, $9 to $199, right? It's so I think we could have maximized some value out of that, but those are small.
I think it went $9 to $79 though for 10 steps, which is not that far off from the $5, $49 that we're doing with the blogging, but it's just not closely related. Like the blogging workbook to 10 ways to make money with your blog is fairly easy jump, but JavaScript to learning quickly is a bigger jump.
Yep. Another potential too, that I think, just thinking about this idea, is we already, like, our current system right now is essentially offer, when people sign up for our list or for the email course, we offer a full price, and we do, a lesson or like, learning mistakes, some kind of an email course sequence where they're getting some educational material and kind of selling to learn more or go in depth the next step at a full price. And then with the people who don't take on that, we usually offer a discount. Like, that's our general thing. But maybe now we do a third step at some point later on, and maybe not right away. I think Josh was talking about maybe like 90 days out, where we do the more of the fire sale one, because heck, if they're not going to buy anyway, then you might as well,
what we could do, John, actually, this would be a good tweak on that, would be to set it up so that it skips, if they have a customer tag, if they've bought anything from us, it skips that. But if they haven't bought anything from us, then why not, right? I mean, because they haven't paid us, they haven't given us any money. So
that's a really good
offer
point.
them the fire sale. That's what I'm
Because
gonna
what you
do.
don't want to do is train your best customers to
Right.
that you're going to do super sales, because you're not always
Yeah.
going to do super sales. But again, I think some of the best customers. We did get an email from one guy who's like, I bought, you know, he had kind of complained, I think, on the Facebook group, but then he's like, you know what? I actually bought the course on Udemy and I bought it from you guys. So because I had replied back to, he actually deleted on the Facebook group, but I replied back and I was like, look, you know, I just explained to him, I was like, this is why we're doing it, you know, and we're why we're selling the course, and you know, Tony makes money. You know, we're like, it's actually better for him when it's at a higher price, like he makes more money and stuff. And so, and Udemy kind of does this crap where they always put your stuff on sale. I actually had some of my courses go on Udemy, and it's ridiculous. Like, it's just like, I don't, you know, it's always a fire sale. That's so.
Yep.
Yeah, and
But,
I have a friend with a course on Udemy in the Docker realm, and he is like their number one promoted top selling Docker course person. It's like a $200 course, and his average payment for that course is somewhere like around $4.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And if you get enough volume, you know, like we tried this experiment, it can work. But a more strategic approach is to, I think what Josh is saying is, like, if someone's never going to buy from you anyway, and you can make $9, then maybe you should. And some people hearing this will say, well, that's not fair to people who pay more, and, you know, you shouldn't gouge people based on what they can afford. But to some degree, you know, I can understand that sentiment, but to some degree, like, shouldn't you kind of try and meet people where they're at? Like, shouldn't you kind of try and, like, you know, isn't it better to offer more people more value than, you know, yes, if someone has more means, then maybe they end up paying more if you look at it that way. But at the same time, they don't care as much either, right? You know, so that's the thing, is like, you know, honestly, like, I don't care if I pay $200 for a course that someone paid $10 for. I don't care if I paid $300, because to me, it's like
the value out of it.
Yeah, if I get the value of it, you know. There's going to be other people though. I mean, if you're in India and you're not making a lot of money, and that's, you know, $9 is a lot of money for you, then you're thrilled. Then like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we can make it all level and fair and say, no, we never, you know, do that based on income at all. But then, you know, that the poor guy in India that's been following our blog forever, and you know, he could benefit from the course, he doesn't get the chance. So I think there's opportunities. Yeah.
The expression of value for the customer is very relative, and the idea of absolute pricing for everyone is kind of ridiculous. I mean, I don't have the means of doing geographic based pricing with Watch Me Code, but every now and then I get somebody that emails me and says, you know, hey, I was talking to this person and they recommended your stuff, but I can't afford it because I live over here. And, you know, not every time, but quite frequently, I'll give that person a discount on whatever course they were looking for, because I understand regional differences, and I understand the value proposition for, you know, a $200 a year subscription for somebody in India. That's a tremendous amount of money for the average person over there, versus $200 over here in the States. It's like, well, you know, I better be serious about this because it's a fair amount of money.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. So I don't know, but we have to be careful, obviously. But one of the things that we discovered too is that most of our customers are not repeat buyers. Like, there's not as much of an overlap, because people always say, like, this is a weird thing in the marketing world. They always say, don't discount and don't fire sale because you're training your customers that you're going to do this. And
I actually, John, I just wrote an email about this week, because I got somebody that replied to one of my other emails, and they were like, hey, you know, because I was talking about about discounting in this other email, and they were like, Derek Halpern says that you'll destroy your business if you discount. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go dig into our sales data for the last year and see how we've destroyed our business with discounting. And so 59% of the 10 steps sales come in at full price.
Yeah.
So we're actually only getting less than or just right around 40% of them are at the discount. And that's including, like, you know, Cyber Monday sales and everything. So most people are buying it at full price. And how to market yourself is more, it's actually 30% are full price and 70% are discount. But that one, to me, it's a higher price point for one thing, but it's also like the way we have that package is not ideal. So I think if we repackage that, we could improve on that a lot. But so it's really not destroyed our business at all.
And like I said, if less than 1% of your customers overlap buying multiple of your products,
I think it's more like 20%. I'd have to go back and look at the numbers again, but it's still a small number. Like,
it depends on the
buyers
product.
are going to be a minority.
I guess like if you take our whole list, what I'm saying, the percentage of people that have bought more than one product is probably only a couple % at the most.
Yes, I definitely. Right? Yes,
and that's what I'm saying is that's your only danger, is that those couple of %, maybe you lose a few sales there, or they hold out for a discount and they get a little bit of a discount, but they're repeat customers, so who cares if they get a discount anyway? So it's like, that logic never made sense to me. Like, I know Derek Halpern is,
he's the New Yorker.
Hey, you want to cut your business in half? I'll tell you how you can cut your business in half. Discount it. Maybe that's close, but the point is that like it just never made sense to me. It just never logically made sense to me, unless you're in an industry where like 30% of your list are repeat buyers, like people are buying. In that case, like the point where it makes sense to me is if you are Michaels, right? Michaels has a 50% coupon all the time that you can get. Right. And so I would never, I shop at Michaels all the time, but I would never shop at Michaels without one of those 50% coupons, or Bed Bath & Beyond. They always have a 20% off coupon, right? I would never go there without that thing. Well, I lie. See, even then, sometimes I'm like, well, fuck it. Am I going to go and look for a 20% coupon, or I'm just pay 20% more? I'll just pay 20% more. So.
It's a little bit different in the subscription service world, like what I'm doing. Like a year and a half ago, a little over a year ago, at the MicroConf I was at, I realized that discounting my prices constantly wasn't necessarily a good thing, because my list price was $14, but almost everyone was paying $9 a month because I was always giving everyone a discount. That situation wasn't good. I was leaving a lot of money on the table then. But at the same time, offering a discount does give people an incentive. Hey, this week only, you can get this discount. So it's not that, I don't think either extreme of never discount or always discount is good. Right. But there's a balance to be found in between those two extremes, depending on your market, your product or service, your audience. All these different factors go into how often and how much you do discounts.
Discounting is a valuable tool to save the sale, is how I look at it.
Yeah.
Right.
Derek, actually for you, you might want to look at your list and go, who are like the most active people who are not Watch Me Code subscribers?
Right.
And offer them some kind of discount to get them moving.
Because it might be a pricing, because there's also, to make it more complicated, especially with your case, Derek, is it really a problem with discounting, or is it a problem with pricing, right? Because if you're discounting and you had like $9 subscribers instead of $14, then maybe you'd be better off having a $28 subscription and discount to $14, or you know what I mean? Like there's to some degree it becomes ridiculous, and people are like, sometimes you go and you look at something on Amazon, or no, Overstock.com does this a lot, and it's like 89% off a retail price, and you're like,
right,
okay, come on, guys, like seriously, like if it's like 20% off, I'm taking the bait. But when you tell me it's 89% off, I don't even believe you anymore. So as long as there's a credibility factor, right, you're not inflating the price too much for the discount. Everyone likes to feel like they're getting some kind of a deal. So
the way, I think customer lifetime value is really only part of the picture. What you like, really, the metric is, and this is impossible to determine, but the metric is revenue per person in your universe, right? The total. So like, if there's 1,000 companies in the world that you could possibly work with, and you're like some small B2B thing, well, having the highest prices possible and never discounting is probably the right move.
Right.
But if you have like, you know, if you have an email list of 67,000 like we do, and only 5,000 of those people have ever given you money, well, you know, then looking at it in terms of, you know, overall money per subscriber makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more accurate. And like if we could maximize our customer lifetime value by offering only like one $2,000 course, and our customer lifetime value is $2,000. But if we only sell that to like 0.1%, then, you know, we're leaving a lot of money on the table. So
yeah, it's interesting too. Like if you think about it, like to some degree, like as much as I tend to despise Udemy, based on what you said, Josh, they're kind of doing what might be the smartest strategy overall. And you can't argue with them. They're making a lot of money because their universe, the universe of developers is pretty large. And so if you discount enough that the discount is marketing itself, right?
Right.
You're pulling in customers. You're the Walmart, right? You're pulling in customers.
They're buying customers. Actually, they're getting paid to acquire customers at a lower price, basically, instead of paying to bring people in.
And some of those customers will become repeat buyers. And so, but here's where their thing is like, eventually, if I were to invest in Udemy, I would short the stock at some point, because I would say eventually they are going to exhaust their universe. We'll never exhaust our universe, right? There is always going to be, but they could hit a saturation point where they actually run out of people, and then there's like, now they can't raise their prices. Now they're in trouble and there's nowhere to grow. Not a problem that we're going to face, and probably a decent problem for them to have. But yeah, it's something to consider, right? I mean, it's something to think about. But the
big guys always play by a different set of rules.
Yeah, they do. But
it's a mistake to look at what they do a lot of times and try to mirror it. So
right. Unless you are going to pull the millions of dollars to become the big guy, you know. But I think in our case, the micro optimization is what makes sense. Where it's like, well, we can actually do, you know, the price tier, the best of both worlds, and people aren't even going to notice for a day-to-day thing. You know, the people that follow this podcast and whatnot, they know. It's like, you know, it seems a little extremer to us, but if someone suddenly has a $9 deal on a thing, like, it's not like you're obsessed. I mean, some people are obsessed, but most people aren't obsessed with whatever your little business is. It doesn't affect their day-to-day life on that great of a scale, so they're not even really noticing, right? So I think it probably does make sense to like think about price tiering and to make multiple offers to people, you know, and say, hey, look, okay, if you can't afford at this price, let's give you this price. And the other thing is, like, there's a random element to it, right? Because people don't know, right? If I pass up on this, right, does it mean that they're going to come back next week and give me a 20% discount? I don't know.
I think that's where it gets, if you can, if they pick up on that pattern, that's where it starts to become a problem.
Well, but here's the thing. So even if they pick up on, okay, it's like a slot machine, right? It's the 3-arm bandit, the multi-arm bandit problem, right? I go and I sit at the slot machine and I pull the lever and I win. Does that mean when I pull it again, I'm going to win? You know, or if I switch slot machines. So they see the email and they see that you've done a sale before and you offered a 20% discount after they didn't buy. Does that mean on the next product that you're going to do the same thing? Is it worth taking the risk? Or let's say that you do 3 tiers of discounting. Let's say that you had it at 100% and then you did 20% off and then you did slash it to 50 or less than that. Does that mean that, you know, are you going to pass up on the 20% off for the chance to get it 80% off because you think they might do that? You don't know. And you don't have enough data to form a real good opinion. Even if you've seen this happen 2 times, you still don't know if it's something you really want. You know, I'm not taking that risk. I'm buying it. You see, so I think there's enough of that. Like if you did this like once a week, then people would catch on. Like, with Michaels, they always have a 50% off coupon. With Bed Bath & Beyond, every month you get a 20% off coupon in the mail. That's a totally different thing. And you're a repeat buyer in that store. Whereas someone buys a product, they bought it.
That's actually what I said in this email. So my wife uses Shutterfly to buy photo books and stuff for our family, and they send you they send you daily emails with offers every single day. It's like a new offer, and they rotate through them. So like every 2 or 3 weeks, so she knows if she waits every 2 or 3 weeks, she's going to get an offer for like a free photo book, just pay shipping. And so she'll wait, she'll put all the photos, she'll load all the photos in there, and then just wait. And we get, we get a significant, number of amount of stuff from them every year for free because of that. And it's because it's a pattern, it's predictable. And yes, when you do that, when you do it with enough frequency, you are training people to expect it, and they won't buy. But at our scale, I don't really
same thing with Shutterfly.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think it's a. At our scale, I don't think it's really a problem.
Right.
Plus, you're also talking about the top 10% of the population in terms of intelligence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
intelligence and financial acumen.
Right. I don't think people think about it that as deeply as you guys are going either. I mean, most people, I mean, if it's the third or fourth thing they're buying from you, and they, they waited an extra day because life, and they got a discount offer every time, then they might pick up on it. But most people, they're just going to react at whatever price makes sense to them. So,
yeah. Well, the other big mistake is like the generic 20% off everything in my shopping cart store type of offer, where where John's saying about the randomness is important. So but if you just are constantly like every 2 weeks you send out a 20% off coupon where they can get anything they want and save 20%, then after 2 or 3 of those, they're going to be like, okay, anything I want, if I just wait, I can get it later, and I know I can get it at 20%. And people, I think that actually will have the training effect.
Well, that exact situation happened to me about a month ago, I guess. One of the games I've been playing, Titanfall 2, my brother bought it for me on disc for Christmas. And I don't like discs anymore.
What's a disc?
Yeah, exactly. I prefer the digital version of games. And so I'd been thinking, okay, if I ever get, a little bit of money, or save up for some spending money or whatever, I can go spend the $60 at some point in the future. But then I started to notice a pattern where the publisher of this game once a month would have a 50% off sale for almost a whole week. Typically 3 days, sometimes as long as 5 days. So there's a pattern to this. Every time they have new download content, new DLC for the game, they sell the game at 50% off. So I waited for the next DLC to come out, and I got the digital version for 50% off.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's the corollary to this, right? Because even with the 20% discount every week, and what you just said there, you're already a customer. And so do you think that because you're already a customer, you're already buying stuff from them, do you think that they are happy to sell you at 50% off, right?
Absolutely.
Right? They're happy to, right? And it's the same thing here. Is I would say, like, if your best customers would be the ones who figure out the pattern. And if those people are constantly, quote, taking advantage of you by buying all your shit every single time you sell it, that's a pretty good fucking problem to have, right? So I'm not worried about that at all. In my mind, the only thing I'm going to worry about is how can I make the most money? How can I price optimize the most to meet people where they're at, where they're going to buy? And you know what? If people discover patterns and they figure this shit out and they're waiting, they're like, oh, John's going to sell this course at 20% in a week, and I'm going to buy the hell out of it then. I'm like, buy the hell out of it. Yes. Buy the hell out of my shit, please.
The one danger, though, John, the one danger with that is there's the sale delayed is the sale lost. And
potentially.
So you some of them, yes, will buy it later. The question is, will it be enough of them to make up for the fact that a lot of them are waiting today and not pulling the trigger?
But that's why you hit them again.
When you have people hot and bothered about it, that's when you want them to hit that buy button.
Right.
Not later on. Later on they're gonna be less excited about it, and they're less likely to actually buy it.
It's just that overall, the strategy of pricing to things where the people are is you're going to lose some people like that, like you said. But what percentage is that? Is that even 10%? I mean, realistically, and
it would be
still have another.
Yeah, if I in that scenario that I outlined, it would be more like 90%.
Well,
The number of people. No, I mean, like
90% of the people that know that that figured out the pattern that you're going to discount something, and then decided not to buy now because they're going to wait for the discount, and then didn't buy at the discount. You're going to tell me that's 90%? Because I get what you're saying about the delayed sale. 90 to
95% of 90 to 95% of people who say, "Oh, I'll buy this later," won't ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
So,
but I think that number shifts a huge amount when it's suddenly on sale too. I think that affects it, and then you can hit them multiple times, right? It's not like you're just making this offer one time. You have a quarterly sale, you do. So ultimately, it just doesn't make sense to me to worry about that at all. In the only time that you would worry about it is if you're just doing crazy, like you said, 20% every week, where it's a like totally observable, obvious pattern for something that
or
otherwise
the standing.
It's not
So
worth it.
With the Sublime list, Wes, when he was doing the newsletter, he had the standing 20% discount offer for his product that we would put in every issue, and it like didn't work. I mean, I never really bothered to say anything about it, but it's like, dude, this is not really going to do anything, because there's no. The whole point of the discount is scarcity and urgency, and when it's like clearly every week there's a 20% off coupon, like that just becomes the new price.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
But it's fun.
Yes, fun week. The other thing that this brought up too is that I'm kind of kicking around the idea of occasionally doing like an AppSumo model. So we haven't had luck selling high-end affiliate products. So like, hey, I'll go sell your $300 course, and Josh will spend 2 weeks of his life writing emails. That'll be great, and everybody will buy it. No, doesn't work. We basically it's a waste of time. But I might do an experiment where we go to somebody that has like a $300 or $500 course and say, hey, we'll do an affiliate promotion for us. The deal is we're selling it for $29.
Right. And
basically just copy the AppSumo model, and our list would love it. It kind of gives us, because we have the leverage, because we've got such a big audience, so we can kind of do the Walmart on people. Mm-hmm. And twist their arms to get the prices down, and but then if we could sell a few hundred of them, then everybody's happy.
And we've got and here's the thing, again, going back to the whole universe idea, right? Because people are going to be resistant to this, right? I already have one person in mind who would be like, no, I have to sell it for $500. You're going to discount my. But here's the thing. You don't have a huge market share. Like the overlap, will you lose some sales if we discount it, because there's some people that would have bought your course that are in our audience, but we've got a big list, and we've only got 67,000 people. There's millions of developers in the world, right? So the thing is, it's like, it's essentially free money, right? If you put a course out on your site and it's, and it stays out there and it's heavily discounted, okay, maybe then you've got an argument. But if you do a flash sale like that and you knock it down 90% in price or whatever, it doesn't make a difference. Really, like the amount of people that you're going to make money up front, and the amount of sales that you're going to lose from that is going to be infinitesimal. It's going to be so small. So we just have to have that pitch in mind when we tell people. It's like, realistically, what is the overlap, honestly? Like, we have to keep that in our own mind too, because that's, again, like doing this flash sale and doing stuff like that. We're rolling through 6,000 new subscribers a month on the email list. Like, you're not gonna damage yourself by optimizing the money that you make.
I'm in that exact situation with the bonus that I gave you guys. I've got 8,000 people. I finally cracked the number 8,000 on my mailing list this week. You guys have 8 times the number of email subscribers that I do. So if I can get a percentage of your people to come over to my mailing list with one of my products in their hand,
right?
I mean, that's huge. That's why I've got this fire under my butt to get this this sales sequence written for those people, because I see, like, holy crap, there's this giant audience that you guys have. Yeah, I'm going to lose the sale up front, but with the potential of gaining sales from people that would have never otherwise heard about me.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Because the chance of that overlap is so damn small.
Really small. So changing subjects entirely, since we're pretty close to the end here.
Yeah.
This has actually
Sorry,
been a really, really good discussion. But changing subjects entirely, here's my daughter. Everybody say hi.
Hi, daughter.
Hey there.
So I was talking with a publishing company this week, somebody that we're all familiar with who does books and stuff, and they are getting into screencasts. They kind of set the goal of they want to beat Udemy at their own game and beat Code School at their game and beat Safari Books Online at their game. And so they have this really interesting platform that they're building. And they have several people whom they are publishing directly, but I'm talking with them about them getting into the distribution of independently developed content on top of their platform. So they've got one of my courses, one of my screencast series that we're going to be working. I'm going to be working with them over the next few weeks to, to help them figure out the distribution model that they want to go with in terms of pricing and licensing and branding and everything else, but also to help them to help me get new audience and new distribution of my content. And they have a pretty cool platform. It's not just distribution of media like Watch Me Code is, but it's an interactive model where they have a transcript that highlights the sentence that is currently being stated. And it has live code examples that you can run directly inside of the transcript.
Oh,
and
nice.
You can do quizzes, and you can do all these other kinds of real interactive education model situations for both video and for books.
That sounds really familiar.
Yeah, it sounds really familiar.
I think I might know who that publisher is.
John might know who that publisher is. It's very possible for some reason. But yeah, so there's several opportunities like this that have been coming my way in the last few weeks with training and distribution and a couple of companies that I've been talking with about stuff like this. So the good things may be happening with Watch Me Code. I just got to get some of these sales sequences to actually start working. My lead magnets on Thrive Leads on my blog are finally starting to work. I'm figuring out that if I actually post new and interesting blog posts, it generates a lot more conversions on the lead magnets.
Yep.
Interesting.
Nice.
And then it's just a matter of waiting for people to go through the sequences to see if anything sells, which so far my current sales sequences are not doing well. But I've only got 50 to 80 people going through these sequences so far. I got to wait quite a bit longer to know whether or not it's actually going to work.
Well, I mean, it's a good lesson for all of us. Distribution is king, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you're not going to hurt yourself and penetrate your market. Like, I've been thinking about this a lot too. Just like, can we get our stuff on every single platform, right? Can we? I mean, and maybe it's like we put some of our stuff on Udemy. Like if we, it's like I don't know.
I thought about that too.
Or Amazon, or like it doesn't really hurt you. Does it really cut into your price? I mean, I guess with Google, if someone can search on the exact name of the thing, but can you repackage something and have a different name and put it on different platforms, right? I don't know. I mean, that's it's scary because you don't want to give away your stuff. Like our blog posts go out on DZone all the time, and they publish them. And sometimes the blog posts on DZone get more hits than on our blog. But hey, should we really complain about that? I don't think so. I think we're hitting people that we wouldn't hit. So
yeah, there's one of my blog posts, my 10 reasons that the developers never try Docker. I republished that on another blog. I can't remember the guy's name offhand. The blog name offhand. And every time he tweets it, that his version of the post gets probably 1,000 to 2,000 views.
Yep.
Every time I tweet it, my post will get 10 to 15, maybe 20 views. Either way, people are still associating me with the post because his tweet includes my name. My name is in my bio, and links to my stuff are all over the post on his site.
Right.
So yeah, I'm more than happy to republish that post on his site because he's generating a ton of eyeballs on my name and my content.
The key thing is to own the source. I think that's the
Right.
worst. Like, because people always ask me all the
Right,
time now,
I've
should I
got that
blog on
link
Medium?
canonical in
Yeah.
his post pointing back to mine, so Google knows that my post is the
Mhm.
actual source.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
People ask me all the time, like, should I blog on Medium or should I write my own blog? And my answer is always
Right.
write your own
Both.
blog. If you want to syndicate the Medium, do that, but don't make that your main. Don't,
Mhm.
you need to own the platform. I suppose we're not doing that with YouTube, but with YouTube, I do feel like it's a little bit different because
Yeah.
YouTube is the
Yeah.
world's largest search engine, and it makes
Yeah.
sense to have your content on there.
yeah.
It's a different situation than Medium.
Well, I mean, you can't play, and you can't, like, there's no choice.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you
If-
could
if
publish your videos all
WordPress.com
to your site first, but
If WordPress.com had a huge user base and they could independently send you traffic, then yeah, it would make sense to
Right.
potentially syndicate or republish everything there. But it's
know-
not the same thing.
well, I'm a bit of a hypocrite. Thinking about this, it'd be really smart to do. Here's an optimization for us, Josh. We publish all the videos that I do for YouTube onto our blog in a membership type of site right, and then they go to YouTube for free. But if people want to go somewhere and just see all your stuff and be part of it, they can, right? And then you've got it all owned there. Or even if you didn't make it a membership site, even if you just made it free, you'd have more SEO there too. Yes, you're not going to get the YouTube ads on those, but you're going to get more opt-ins because you're going to put, like, what's that, lead pages, lead opt-in. There's plenty of companies that do this, but I mean, maybe that's a lot of work, but it might be something to think about. Like, if I was starting a YouTube channel today, what would I advise someone? I would say create a blog, use like Wistia or something like that, and put all the YouTube videos on that blog and then syndicate them to YouTube, because you don't get any penalty for doing that, and then you own the content. So
Mhm.
I mean, I can't see the downside of it, and you get some extra SEO juice potentially. And like I said, you can use something like Wistia.
Right.
So yeah, so maybe we do that at some point in the future. I don't know.
All right. Well, I got to get going. Have a little munchkin with me here. I need to take care. I've got to go get some lunch.
All right. Should we do our thoughts?
Yeah, thoughts for the week.
Yes. All right. My thought is, I actually came prepared with this one. When you don't have time for a checklist, that is when you really need the checklist.
Yes.
So
So true.
I was rushing on Monday. I was rushing to get these emails up before my workout. I wanted to get them all done for the week, or get them up for that sale, so I didn't have to think about it. And I have a checklist that I've started. If I'd hit that checklist, I might have caught this error. I probably would have. And I didn't do it because I was like, oh, I'll just use my trusty mental checklist.
Yeah.
That's good enough, right? I need to get this done. Yeah, so point gun at foot, pull trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is somewhat similar, which is that I was having a huge amount of time with productivity, or a hard time with productivity for the last probably 6 months. Honestly, I've been feeling bad about myself. I'm like, I'm the productivity guru, and I feel like I'm not being as productive as I should be, even though most people would say that I'm super productive. I haven't reached the levels that I was before, and I was like, what is going on? What is wrong? And a lot of it had to do with those little distractions, the little Twitter and the Facebook and the stats that you check and the analytics and stuff. Well, and even your email or Slack. When you're small, it's a small overhead, but when you're big, it's a big overhead. When you have more Twitter followers and more people on your YouTube channel and more emails in your inbox and more Facebook messages, right? And more things going on Slack. So what I found was that I was getting into the weeds all the time, and I wasn't working on the big rock, and I had gotten away from that. And it was just like a small, just starting my day looking at my phone or checking email. And so I went back to, and I kind of did this at the beginning of the year and had success, but I keep on getting away from it. But this week, like the last couple of days, I went back to Pomodoro, focus, like what worked for me before. Like I got up in the morning. Yesterday was a phenomenal day. I did like 10 Pomodori, and I got up in the morning at the same time, 6:30 a.m. got to my desk, and I had like 8 or 9. I had 8 Pomodori done before noon, I think, and I didn't open up Slack until like I had done 3 or 4 of them, and I didn't open up my email until noon, right? And I didn't check Facebook or Google or analytics or any of that stuff, and I just cut all that stuff out. And man, I felt so much better. I got so much more done, right? I did the same thing this morning so far. I'm off to a great start. I'm editing through my book. Like I got through like 15, 20 chapters that it had been taking me like a week to just get through 1 or 2 in the past, and I would feel crappy at the end of the day. So I came back to those roots, and man, that's the key. Is it's like, and I also didn't let people interrupt me. I'm like, no, I'm turning off the phone, turning off all the stuff. So just coming back to the very basics of productivity is just like work on the big rock first, do the Pomodoro technique, and be really religious with it, and just work. Don't let anything distract you. Can, once you've gotten the solid work done for the day, then you can go to the Slack, then you can go to the Facebook if you need to and check. But most of the analytics and stuff, you don't even need to check anyway. So, and it just will make you stressed out and make you go on the emotional roller coaster. So that's where I'm at.
So I'll tail off of that with how even if you are focused, even if you are productive, if you find yourself looking at the work you've done and see that it's not making a difference, you're probably doing the wrong things. And that's what I've been seeing in the last couple of weeks. Again, is like, oh, I've been building all this marketing automation, and it's really cool stuff, and I'm having fun thinking about it and tweaking it, and it has potential to generate all this money. But if you don't send people through the sequence,
Yes.
it's not going to generate money. So yeah, while 2 weeks ago it was necessary for me to focus on the marketing email sequence, I should have stopped focusing on that at least a week ago. And I should have been writing blog posts instead to push people through that funnel to get faster results, instead of waiting for the slow 1 or 2 a day trickle to build up over time.
Yep. So
even if you are focused, make sure you're focused on the right thing, the thing that's actually going to move your business forward right now. It's that difficult situation of, do you focus on the right now or do you focus on the long term? Well, focusing on the right now you should only focus on the right now if it moves you toward the long term. So that's that whole thought process there as well.
Yeah, got to have the ladder against the right wall.
Right, exactly.
Otherwise it's a waste. Yeah.
I'm going to get a little bit more tactical on what John said. So yesterday I had a call with Jordan Baker. I don't know if you guys remember him. We met him at MicroConf. He has a product called Focuster.
Oh yeah, I like that guy. Yep. He's a Tony Robbins guy.
So we had a call. We're planning on doing some joint ventures. I guess I have 2 thoughts. Because one of them basically came out of talking to a whole bunch of these people for the sponsorship stuff, led to a whole bunch of joint venture affiliate kind of deals, right? Where we're going to do a webinar or 2 and make that work. So sometimes what you're looking for, you wind up finding something else that will pay off in a different way. And really it just comes down to having hustled. And then the other thing is that, so he was walking me through Focuster. And the thing that it does that's really interesting is you add tasks to the day, and then it figures out. So I put in like, I'm going to do this today, and it's going to take about an hour. So then it finds an hour gap in your day and sticks it in there, and that's where that goes. And then if you check it off, then it rearranges your schedule so that the next thing that fits into the time slot will go there.
That's cool.
Awesome. And for me, it's just, okay, so what's the next thing on my schedule? Well, I get a calendar reminder now, or I'll have a reminder from Focuster because I turned on the push notifications from their website, because you can do that now with all of the cool stuff that's coming out. So I get notified, okay, your next task is this thing. And so when I get that notification from Focuster or from my calendar, I'm like, okay, well, I get a 5-minute break and then I dive right in. And so then if and then it's okay for me to, I'm going to play a game on my phone for a minute, or I'm going to go use the bathroom or whatever, and so if I need the break, I get it, but then it's okay. I'm into this and I'm gonna do it. And anyway, it's really, really nice. So the other thing is that I took some of the things that I had put on my calendar, because that's the way I was handling it before is, oh, I want to do this thing. And so I'm going to put it on my calendar so that I do it, and then I don't always do it. But if I'm putting these tasks in every day into my list, and then it's showing up, okay, this is the next thing you need to work on, then it tends to happen. And since I'm being deliberate about what I'm working on for the day, it just gets things done. And so, where John's talking about, I'm going to do these handful of things for today, and then I can go check the Facebook stats or stroke my ego in the other numbers ways, however that works out. This is just another way of doing that, where you get it on your schedule, you get it done, and you're deliberate about those things that you have to get done every day.
Yep.
And then you make sure that you make the time to do it.
Yep, cool. I've got it on my list actually to check out the Focuster app. It's definitely, I'll get to it next week, but that sounds really cool.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Rock on.
This has been fun.
All right, I'm going to have the
All
next
right.
Monterey programmer say bye for me. Say bye.
Bye.
Say see you next week.
See you next week.
All right.
All right, guys. See ya.
All right, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.